Hello friends, welcome back to another video. This is Luisana from My Life in My Craft Room for Possum Stamps. Today I am bringing you this super cute and simple and super easy card to make using these two stars from that stamp set right here. It is an older but a goodie large stamp set from 2021. I am going to be using color pencils. I haven't played with my color pencils in a long time, so I was super excited to get these out and give them a whirl. I decided I wanted to try coloring on gray, I think it's called gray tone paper, something like that. You saw it there at the beginning. And yeah, I used one of my dies in a rectangular shape to cut the paper to fit the size that I needed it. But then shortly after, I realized that the paper is not thick enough for what I needed it to be. So I die cut another piece of, this time, just white cardstock. I believe the weight is 120 pounds from Amazon, and glued them both together. Now I am using a smaller blending brush and my archival ink by Ranger in the color watering can to just add a little bit of extra deeper gray color around the edges. And I am going to be just using some stamping blocks from my stash to stamp those little stars in just random areas on my gray card front. And I used my Versafine detail ink for this because I wanted it to be super crisp and detailed. So now we are going to get into the coloring of the stars, which is the fun part of the video. And what I did was I grabbed a white pencil. It doesn't matter what brand you have, this is just the kind that I have. And since I am coloring on top of colored paper, it's not white, it works better if I do a light layer of that white before I apply any color. And the coloring of the stars is actually quite simple. All I do is I have two different tones of each color, so a darker blue, a lighter blue, a darker yellow, a lighter yellow, and so on. And I start with my darker on to the right of each of the stars, and then I blend all of that with my lighter tone of whatever color I am playing with at the moment. So right here, I started with my darker purple, and then I am blending it all out with a lighter purple. And I do go back and do a couple of layers so that it would look more, not just blended, but more pigmented. And I am working my way through all of the stars. I have been into a rainbowy mood lately, and funnily enough, I have made all of this week, all of my cards had a rainbow theme. It hasn't been on purpose, it's just the way it turned out, and I am not complaining about it. So I am almost to my last color. Right here I have two different tones of green, and I believe the brands I am using are Polychromos and Pablo's, but I have found that for the technique that I am using right now, which is coloring on top of, the color paper, using a pencil that has more of a firm texture will work a lot better. I don't know how well Prismacolors would work. They are pretty pigmented, but the lead is just really too soft for what I am trying to do here. So lastly, I have here my pink, which is the red version of, the rainbow, and just taking my time going back and forth. And you will notice that the black lines around the stars are not quite as crisp as I wanted them to begin with, because I do not know how to stay inside the lines, apparently. So we are going to fix that here pretty shortly by bringing in a black pencil right there. And this one is by I believe Polychromos, and I made sure that it was really well sharpened. And I just went around all of the stars, giving them that sharp black outline that I was after. And I am really sorry that it looks blurry from time to time, because my camera was focusing more on my hands than on my project, but you get the gist of it. hopefully. So yeah, we're almost done with the outlining of all of the stars. And after this step, I believe I am going to be thinking about what sentiment I am going to add. And there is a perfect sentiment in that same stamp set, and it says every day is an adventure. I just love that, and I decided that I wanted to have it be a colored sentiment. So I grabbed my embossing powder in Opaque Pastel Blue by Wow, and I stamped my sentiment using my Versamark Dazzle ink, which I have found is the best. And there you see it. That's what it looks like before I heat set it, so I'm taking my time with that. By the way, I am using the same exact color of paper that I use for my background so that it all looks cohesive. And then here I am trimming it so that it is just the right size for the sentiment to go on my card front. I'm trying to decide here, where do I want it, if it goes better in the center, what am I going to do about a border, and then it just came to me that it needs a white outline. So I grabbed a piece of cardstock from my leftovers, and I trimmed it to be just a little bit bigger than the gray paper with the sentiment. And before I glued them together, I decided to just grab that gray brush and apply a little bit of ink around the edges, just so that it looked more like the stars background. Before I continue, I am going to adhere my base onto my card front that I have been working on, and I wanted it to be so that it had a white outline, and I just love it. I think it ties in together with the sentiment really nicely. And I decided that the best place for it was right there towards the top, and I needed to make sure that the sentiment was straight, and I could not figure out how to use that ruler, but finally I got it. So that was a good tip right there, if you can understand what I was trying to do. And I will finish it all off with some cute sequins from Possum stamps as well. And there you have it. That is it for today's card. It is super cute, and I am so thankful that you are all here, and I appreciate you watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe to Possum Stamps YouTube channel. I will see you all in the next video. Bye.